Back with you here. We're having a few technical difficulties. I think we've got it squared away. We are well aware that we're shooting this in vertical video right now. We're having a phone issue, but hey, just like everyone else dealing with this COVID-19, we're only allowed so many people in the office every day. So we had to bring the boss out to run the camera today. So so anyhow, hey, if you've been watching these live streams from Slato, hopefully you have. They've been fantastic. This week you've noticed we've been focusing on turkey hunting. And so that's what I'm here to do today. We've talked a little bit about the status of the turkey population here in the state of Kentucky. Tomorrow is going to be all about calling. They didn't want me to do the calling, and that's for good reason. I'll show you a few little calls today, but I'm not a turkey hunting expert. I thoroughly enjoy it. I get out quite a few times a year, and I've been very successful in taking some birds. I'm going to show you a few techniques that I use, and we're going to talk a little bit about blind placement. And I prefer to not hunt out of a blind, but certain situations, be it weather, location, normally when we're doing a turkey hunt, I've got a camera person with me. It makes things a little more difficult. The perfect way to get a kid or a beginner involved in turkey hunting, because man, you got to be so still sitting out there. And if you have a blind, a kid can. I've seen people take video games out there. Video game system under the line, and whatever it takes to keep a kid out there, keep them preoccupied. You don't want to burn them out. Take them out of the woods. But this weekend is youth turkey season, so you get out there and you can stop out with everything that's going on. We are recommending. We'd love for you to get a kid out there, but take someone that's from your house, that's already has exposure to you and you to them. We're trying to be safe. Get out and experience what we have to offer here in the state of Kentucky. Hopefully the weather is fantastic. So make sure if you got someone that you're around a whole lot, someone that's from your house, get them out there and do some turkey hunting. So this is a unique setup. We had to go somewhere where we got good phone reception. So normally I wouldn't place a blind on a little bit of a slanted hill like we've got here, but we're going to demonstrate a few things using this location just so we can bring it to you live.
We have mic issues.
Okay.
So we're just gonna stay alive.
Okay. Check, check. Can you hear me? Thumbs up if you can hear me.
Let's check to make sure that it's actually on. I've got you paired up. But
It says got a yellow orange light right there. Okay.
just kind of clip it on your.
How about that? Is that better? You got me?
Yep, audio was good. Lots of people were.
All right. Fantastic. Sorry about that. Again, we're sitting out here in the middle of Slato Wildlife Education Center back in the trails, and our phone reception is not perfect. But so we've already got a blind set up. We're in a situation where we got a little bit of a hillside. I'd try to avoid that in the field if at all possible. And then the next thing we'd like to do is to put out some decoys. So typically, decoy placement is something that if you're going to use decoys, decoy placement I think is extremely important. You want to put your decoys somewhere around 25, 30 yards away. And that's where I've got these set right now, probably about 25 yards away. Let's walk up here and check this out. So if you notice, I'm about 25 yards away. I've got two decoys out. You may want to use one. You may not use any. Decoys are definitely not something you have to have. Matter of fact, if I'm doing a run and gun style hunt, a lot of times I don't bring decoys at all. But in this situation, I've got two decoys out. And if you notice, I've got them setting in a straight line. I've got those decoys in a straight line from my blind. When we get in the blind in a minute and you look, you'll see that they're in a straight line. That's for a particular reason. It takes up less area which I can't shoot. If I have 3 decoys out here and they're spread out like this, I got to wait for turkeys to pass in between my decoys or shoot my decoys, which I'd prefer to not do. So I've got them in a straight line. I've got one that's a spinner. If I have stationary decoys, I try to make those decoys not looking in the same direction. If birds are locked on looking in the same direction, to me that looks like an alert, like the birds are being alerted by some type of predator, be it hawk, coyote, whatever it may be, hunter. So in this situation, I like to face them off in a different direction, put them in a straight line. The other thing in this area here, I like to make sure that my decoys are visible. I don't have any idea where the turkeys may be wanting to come out. And right here, I've got them on a little bit of a rise. And this little bit of a rise, and it's visible from almost 360 degrees. Of course, we got some brush and stuff in here, but these turkeys are set in a situation where if a turkey comes out anywhere in this little field I'm at, they should see it. And usually if you can get a turkey to see a decoy, they're going to come check it out. It can be extremely effective. Another good thing about having a decoy out, especially if you're using young hunters, when these turkeys come in, they're going to be looking right there. Now, doesn't mean you can move, doesn't mean you can be loud, but I'll tell you, it'll take the attention off of you and on those turkeys. When you're here calling, the one thing that amazes me about turkeys the most, if you can be sitting over there talking or calling to those turkeys and talking turkey to them, how they can pinpoint where you're at. Those turkeys come in, they know really, really, really close to where you're coming from. But once they see those turkeys, they're still going to look around. They're still going to be a little skittish, but not as much as they would if they didn't see those birds. So our decoys are up. Our blind is in position. You notice that I'm pretty well camoed out. I do have gloves, and I wear a face mask. You probably think, man, that's a little bit overkill. If you've never turkey hunted before, I can't describe to you how good their vision is. They see everything. They see any movement whatsoever, they pick it up. So you want to make sure that you have as much camo on as you can possibly put on and take, because you want to be able to shoot, you want to be able to move, but you want to be able to make sure that your hands, your face, and then we're going to be in the blind, so that's going to put us down below. I have a hat on as well. You want to make sure you're camoed up.
Is a blind good for a youth hunter?
A blind is a fantastic way to take a youth hunter out in the woods. We talked a little bit earlier about if you get a person in there and they're a little bit fidgety, or maybe they're not comfortable and they're moving around in their seat, or maybe they want a snack, it's a perfect way to hide a lot of that. You can't see anything through the bottom part of this blind where you'd have a youth hunter set up. It's a perfect situation to take a youth hunter out there. Now, put you in pretty close proximity, like we talked about earlier, due to the coronavirus, COVID-19. Make sure if you're taking someone out, you're going to be in close proximity if you're hunting in a blind. There's no doubt about it. Not much closer proximity where you got to be in a car to get there, but you want to make sure you take the precautions and you're hunting with someone that you know that the exposure is already there. If it's someone in your house, someone that you spend a lot of time with, then you have no concerns. You've already taken your precautions. The next thing we're going to talk about, the one little level of precaution, we're going to walk back toward the blind here. If you watch Kentucky Afield, you're going to be seeing a segment coming up next weekend. Not this upcoming weekend, the following weekend. We're talking about tick prevention. Tick prevention. This winter was pretty mild. I want to make sure that everyone takes the precautions. This type of chemical right here, there's a bunch out there with DEET, but this here has what's called permethrin. I'm not exactly sure how you say that. Permethrin, however you say it. But if you buy a product that's got this in there, and I do recommend it, it does not go on your skin. You treat this on your clothes, boots, hats, you put it on there around your waistline, put it on the day before, 2 days before. This stuff is good for like 5 weeks, and you can wash your clothes and it's still good. Put this stuff on there. The ticks are going to be out this year. No reason to keep you out of the woods. One bottle of this will keep, I think this here treats 5 complete outfits. You buy a bottle of this and you're good for the year. But make sure you take care of yourself and put this on, because you do not want to get covered up in ticks. So this is one more level of precaution. So we're camoed up, ready to go. I do a lot of run and gun turkey hunting. I use a turkey vest, like, hold on, I got my mic tied up again. There you go. I use a turkey vest that, and if needed, make sure we're good here. And you can see it's got the seat cushion on there. This also allows me to keep, excuse me, all kinds of different calls. I have mouth calls, box calls. I usually have a box call in here. I didn't bring it today because it's a little bit loud. Slate calls. all kinds of different things that I can keep in here. I also have gloves, shotgun shells, face mask, everything I could potentially ever need. One of the things you want to do, you want to make sure that you get your turkey call out before you get into the blind and make a few calls on it. And if it doesn't sound just right, they make all kinds of little tools to help you rough your turkey call up. The rougher it sounds, usually the better it sounds. So I'll scratch one of these up a little bit, rough it up. Then you also need to do the same thing on your striker. Now, different strikers, you could take the exact same call in a different type of wood for a striker. Sounds totally different. Play around with it a little bit. Have fun with it. Turkey calling, trying to talk to a turkey is a lot of fun. Because I will tell you, you don't have to sound great. Some of the worst calls I've ever heard in my entire life was from real turkey. Just have fun with it. Get out there and play around. Take your striker, kind of put it at an angle. Little circles. All right, just have fun with playing around with it. If you ever get it to where it feels like it's sliding and skipping and not doing real well, scratch up the surface of the glass or the aluminum or the slate, whatever you have, rough that up a little bit and it'll sound good. Also, the end of your striker. If this here gets slick once you've used it for a while, it really doesn't sound very good. I use something, it's a little bit embarrassing, a fingernail file. It's the quickest, easiest way. I can literally, almost like I'm making a call, right on that fingernail file, and it's ready to go. It's roughed up and ready to go. So I use a very coarse fingernail file. Stole this from my wife, don't tell her. I stick it in my turkey pouch here, and I've used the same one for probably 5 years. But that is one way that if it gets wet or you have any issues, this is a really good way to kind of clean it up and to make your turkey calls sound really good. That's about all I'm going to do about turkey calls. We actually have an expert coming in tomorrow to talk to you guys about turkey calls, so make sure you tune back in. Now we're going to move into the blind. We're going to look at a little bit of the setup we have going on there. Any questions coming in?
No, we're good so far.
All right. Well,
Might give a plug for the questions.
if you'd like to ask any questions, feel free to send them now. We'd be glad to answer any questions. We're mainly focusing on kind of a setup and talking about the upcoming turkey season. Obviously, turkey season's not in. We're out here simulating this, so we have an unloaded shotgun here, and we are not hunting, but I did bring it out here just to keep it as real as possible. So we're going to now make our way to the blind. There are a bunch of different blinds out there, and I'll tell you, one of my favorite blinds was a blind that I picked up for about $90. Some of them are not very expensive either. They can go to 450 bucks. And all of them have their different benefits, and it depends on how you like to hunt. This particular blind here, we've set this up at an angle, assuming that we think our birds are going to come from this 180 degrees. As you can see, on this blind, all the windows will open up 180 degrees around it. So that means I want to make sure when I set this up a week or two before the season, excuse me, a week or two before the season, I want to set this up where the door is facing on the backside where I don't think that any turkeys are going to come from. And that's kind of what I've done here. There's actually a fence right there. So I will come in from the backside. When you come in to a turkey blind, make sure you zip those doors closed. Look, as you look through this blind, look at how visible everything becomes because of the light coming in that back door. If you zip that up and you have some camo on or you're wearing dark clothes and you're setting away from the front of this blind, and I set way in the back of my blind, when you set up that way, you are very well hidden. Now, if you leave that door open, you see all the light that's coming in here. It makes you much more visible. So when you sneak in, don't worry about that little bit of noise. Zip that thing back up and get in there and get situated and ready to go. That's exactly what I'm going to do next. We're going to start making our way back and get in, and I've already got my chair set up. You know, if you want to bring your chair and all your stuff in each and every hunt, by all means, feel free doing whatever you want to do. But if it's a piece of property you feel comfortable with, get your blind in the position, put a couple stakes in it, and you know, stake it down to the ground, and I just leave my chair in there. So that's kind of what we're simulating here today, that the blind's here and it's ready to go. So let's make our way. We got our decoys set up. We're going to make our way and get in there and get ready for the hunt. All right. One second here. I'm gonna leave a little bit of these open just so we get good video quality. Typically I would have these all completely closed, but I want you to be able to see us in here today. So now I'm gonna leave a little bit of this open so we get some more light. Now, I don't know if you can tell, I'm about 3 feet. I can't even touch the front of this blind. I'm setting way back up in here. And I do that for a couple reasons. First off, I shoot a little bit longer barrel than a lot do. I like to be able to keep a real tight pattern and reach out to get a bird if need be. 40-yard shot, I feel pretty comfortable with it. I will get my shotgun up and I'll lean back in my chair. I'm back a pretty good ways. Look how much of the barrel's hanging out of the blind. We're talking an inch or two, right? Very, very, very little. I do this for a reason. If I'm sitting here, and I'm expecting the turkeys to come to the decoy. That's why I put the decoys out there. But what if the turkeys come in from here? All of a sudden, if I'm set up with my chair way up here, and I'm set up here out like this, look how much of me is exposed. And when I have to move, I have to now do all this moving, move my chair, reposition my chair, pull my shotgun out, move it back over here. Probably not going to happen. It's probably not going to happen. Turkeys are too slick for that. So if you get one of these blinds like this particular size, which most of them are built about this size, 6 foot by 6 foot style blinds, I like to get back, and then what I'll do, I bring this right here. This is a bipod, and I use this for turkey hunting, not because I don't think I can make a steady shot from a certain distance. Let me show you what else it's good for. And these are pretty inexpensive. You can use it on your elk hunt, you can use it on a deer hunt, you can use it just to sight your gun in, but I really like them in a turkey blind. And the reason being, once I get in here and get set up, watch, look at this. I'm completely hands-free. If I have my turkey calls out here, we'll get a turkey call and set it on my lap. I can lean in on my gun. I'm keeping my call, all my movement below the sight line here in this blind. I can, just by having this bipod set up here, I can put my shotgun on it and I can sit here and call. And all of a sudden, if something comes in, I have my gloves on. I'm right here on the bird. If the bird is moving in a direction, because I'm so far back in the blind, if the bird is moving in a direction away from me or to my left, I don't have to do a ton of movement. I can rotate on one of the bipods, one of the legs. I can move it around, and I'm on the contour lines of this hillside. Literally, I could shoot off of this thing, off one leg. It's rotating over. Back over, now I'm on two legs again. Do the same thing going the other direction, right? So, I really like using a bipod. It's total preference. But for me, it allows me to sit way back and to move without having a ton of movement, staying right on moving birds. It allows me to kind of move right along with them there. So give it a try, see what you think. You may not like it, it may not be for you. You may go, you know what, I want to do my turkey hunting a run and gun style up against a tree. But if you're going to take a kid out or a new hunter, I mean, I can be sitting down here building Legos. I could be doing whatever, and no one would be able to see that whatsoever. If a kid wanted to come down here and sit there, lay down, take a nap, they could do whatever they want to do. It's a perfect way to take a kid hunting or a new person hunting. And I'll tell you another thing. I love turkey hunting in the rain. I don't like standing in the rain, but I love turkey hunting in the rain. I've had some of my absolute best hunts. Go back and watch some of our Kentucky Afield shoots, and you'll notice a lot of times we're killing turkeys in the middle of a downpour. What I have noticed about turkeys is that they will move out in fields. When the wind's blowing and the rain's coming down, turkeys rely on their eyes and their ears, but their eyes and their ears, well, when everything's moving and rain's falling, everything's moving and everything sounds, turkeys feel more comfortable out in the fields. They'll move out in the field and stand out there in the middle of a field and pick grasshoppers or whatever they're doing. And I will put a blind like this on the edge of a field where I think they're coming out and put some decoys. And I love hunting in the rain because I'm not getting wet. And I pretty much know that the turkeys are going to be moving from the timber out to the fields. So give that a try. Next day you're like, oh, weather's going to be terrible today. No reason to go turkey hunting. If you have a blind, set that blind up because I've had a lot of luck. You watch some of our past episodes of Kentucky Field. You'll see we're killing turkeys in rainstorms quite frequently.
Evelyn, age 12, wants to know what's the best time to start your day.
Evelyn, that is a great question. Evelyn wants to know what is the best time to start your day. Well, I will tell you, it depends. If you want to get out early and you want to locate a bird on the roost somewhere and try to get within a couple hundred yards and call that turkey to you, they're going to be most vocal right before they fly out of the tree. So they're up there in their roost location. They're going to fly down out of the tree and they're going to start partnering up. I will tell you, that's the most exciting time in the morning, but I've killed very few birds doing that. When those birds come off that limb, that very first gobbler comes off that limb, you may get lucky and be able to get close enough to them and they come off and come right to you, but a lot of times they have went up and roosted where they have hens near them. When they come off that roost, that gobbler is going to try to work those hens that are there close by. And a lot of times, the best time to kill that turkey, that big gobbler, is at 10 o'clock in the morning, 10:30 in the morning. After he's finished up with that hen and he's looking for another hen, that is your best opportunity, your best chance to call that turkey in or to get them to respond to a call. So don't get discouraged. Middle of the day can be just as good as any other time. If you ever drive the highways, Evelyn, look out your if you're going down the West Kentucky Parkway or I'm not sure where you live, look in the fields. You'll see those turkeys out there in the middle of the fields all day long. All day can be a really good time.
Brett wants to know explain a locator call and what it's used for.
Okay, a locator call. A locator call is a call that you use to get a turkey to gobble to respond to you. A lot of people use owl calls or crow calls, and it's a situation where you very first get out of your truck and you walk out a little bit and you get in the woods and you wait till everything's quiet and you let a call go out. It might just be a who cooks for you or whatever you want to do. It doesn't have to be anything special. And all you're trying to do is to get that male turkey wants to be the loudest, most obnoxious thing in the woods. And if it hears something over there that it's also being loud, a lot of times they'll just gobble. And they'll say, hey, this is my territory. And that tells you where they're at. So that is what a locator call is used for. The weirdest thing. If you're sitting there in your blind and an airplane flies over, it's real loud, listen. If you hear a car and a horn honks, listen. Turkeys will gobble at almost everything. They just don't like something being louder than them. So a turkey locator call can be a crow call or an owl call, but it can be literally just about any sound. I've had them when people slam the door to the car, turkeys fire off and gobble. So it can be a multitude of different things.
Callie, age 7, wants to know how can you tell the difference between a jake and a gobbler?
Okay, hey, Callie, age 7, wants to know the difference between a jake and a gobbler. It's a very good question. First off, I'll tell you, if it's got a visible beard and you're out hunting, Callie, you're 7 years old and you're out there hunting, you don't worry about if it's a trophy turkey. You just take a turkey that comes by and send me your picture. I want to send it to the ones that didn't get away. I want to see it. But how you tell the difference between for a jake and a gobbler is when the fan is fully spread out. That's the back tail feathers. When they're wide open and you see them strutting around there, if you see a turkey feather where the tail, the middle part of the tail fan is longer than the parts out on the side, like it'll kind of be a shape where it'll go like this and then it'll step up and the turkey feathers in the back, the 10, 12 turkey feathers across the back will be an inch or two longer. That is jake. That means it's a younger turkey. So it's a male turkey and it comes up like this and then it's got to step up like that. That's called a jake. A gobbler will be straight round. It's almost like one of those little fans that you open up to fan yourself. That's what it looks like. It's all exactly the same height and length on all the feathers. That's a gobbler. That is a mature male turkey when you see that. But if you see a beard on a turkey, Evelyn, you get your turkey this year, you send me a picture. Don't worry about it being someone telling you it's a jake or a gobbler. Hey, there's a differences, maybe 2 pounds difference in the weight. It's still a turkey. Good luck to you this year.
Do you still wear camo in the blind?
Do I wear camo in the blind? I do wear camo in the blind. Now, a lot of people will wear dark colors in the blind, and you can definitely get away with that as well. I never know where a turkey hunt's going to take me. Excuse me. There's situations where I may be out here and I may work a bird and work a bird and work a bird and work a bird, and working a bird means I'm talking to it and it's talking back, but it's not getting any closer. I may have to go on a run and gun hunt. That happens. That happens from time to time. I'm a pretty patient individual, but if I just realize, hey, this isn't going to happen today with this turkey, I'm going to try to go to that turkey and cut the distance. What that does too is it lets that turkey know, hey, that turkey's moving closer to me. If I call from the same location, we talked about earlier about how well they can locate where you're at. If I call from the same location, and that turkey's not responding, if I cut the distance maybe 40 yards to the side, 50 yards to the side, and make that call again, you might get that bird interested. They're really good at knowing where you're at. So because of that, if I have to abandon the blind, I go to my turkey location in a blind with my seat on the back of my vest here. I've got a seat. I can literally take this thing, pop it open, and set down at any tree, any bush, any location I want to hunt. I will take my bifold, my shotgun, and this vest that has all my calls in it. Goes everywhere that I go. So I do wear my camo. Some people that they know, hey, I'm dedicated to the turkey blind, or maybe you're taking a kid and the kid doesn't have the camo, put them in black clothes. You see it, the inside of this blind is all completely black. It's blacked out. If you put a kid in here and you cover up their face a little bit and you have them in black clothes and they don't move a whole lot, you're going to be fine. Look at my shotgun. It's jet black. I don't even have a camouflage shotgun. Now, if I was to go buy a turkey shotgun specifically for turkeys, I probably would buy a camo shotgun. This shotgun has been fantastic for me at killing turkeys. Jet black. It works great inside a blind. So yeah, I wear camo, but if you're going to stay in the blind, I really truly don't believe that it's required if you've got on some dark color. Any other questions? Hey, it's right around the corner this weekend. We're talking to the 4th and 5th. This Saturday and Sunday, youth turkey season starts up. So be looking for someone now in your house. If you got somebody that wants to go try turkey hunting, even if they're not sure about the hunting part, take them out, put them in the blind with you. There's nothing more exciting than to have a turkey respond to you and come walking to you. Kids, their eyes get about this big. The sound, they're so much louder when one's coming up on you than what you would think as a kid. Every kid I've ever seen that has a turkey come gobble right in their face, they just can't hold it together. Their eyes get big and they just don't anticipate that this little bird is making this loud gobble. Super exciting. And then remember, right after that, 2 weeks later, April the 18th and 19th is going to be the opening weekend of turkey season. I'm seeing a lot of birds. I've been doing some fishing, been on the boat. I'm hearing a lot of turkeys gobble. Get ready. And a lot of people are wanting to know, hey, are we still going to have the season? Absolutely. The season is on as usual. No changes. You still need your turkey license. Make sure that you've got all that squared away. If you're a kid that you're going to take a kid out with you this year, make sure you've got your hunter safety card, all that stuff squared away. You still got some time if you need to get that done. Or there is a 1-year exemption. If you got a kid that you're like, man, this turkey season snuck up on us, I want to get them out there, you can also apply for the 1-year exemption. But other than that, everything, all the rules and regs are the same regardless of this COVID-19 scare. Just make sure that you're not setting in close proximity to people that you're worried from another household that could get you sick. We just want people to be safe. We want to put this behind us, get it out of the way for fishing and deer season. Got any other questions? Hey, I thank you for tuning in. Tomorrow's the real show. Tomorrow we're going to tell you how to call turkeys. It's a very important technique. Practice it. You don't have to be a professional. Just don't overcall. Spend a little time working that call. It's a lot of fun, and the very first time you have that turkey come in and you're calling, and a couple seconds later it calls back to you, you're going to be hooked on turkey for the rest of your life. Thanks for tuning in here at the Salado Live Facebook sessions, and we're going to keep these going for the next little bit. We know a lot of people are home in their house. Kids are home. We want to provide some form of outdoor entertainment, but hey, the outdoors is right close to you. Walk outside, get outside, and spend some time outdoors. We've been blessed with some beautiful weather here in the state of Kentucky. Get out and enjoy the great outdoors.